Tumble out of bed and stumble into the kitchen. Pour yourself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come alive. Jump into the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 till 5. Working 9 till 5. What a way to make a living! Well, two things. There was a huge amount of willpower there used not to actually sing that. And two, it was a way for Dolly Parton to make a living more than 35 years ago, and times have most definitely changed. 9 to 5 is dying a death. The workforce is changing, and so should you. We've known it for some time now. Our workforce is changing. As we finalise this shift from the industrial age to the actual digital age, we need to come to the realisation that there's no longer this need for a traditional 9 to 5 workforce of labourers. There is evidence of this in every single city in the developed world. Our offices are increasingly lying vacant while employees are taking their work with them on the go, using the internet to communicate in ways that were never actually thought possible just 20 years earlier. Now, while this is good news for our increasing desire for flexible lifestyles, it leaves many industries and traditions in really a state of limbo. Take, for example, your place of residence. Why do you live where you live? Now, if I ask this question to any of my clients, typically the response is because it's close to family, or it's close to work, or it could be perhaps that you just really enjoy the area. However, not many of us have the luxury of the latter. In fact, work would make up the majority of why we choose to live in a particular area, even if we don't like it. Even if our place we live in is not exactly what we had in mind for reasons of price or availability. So when we have a rapid number of workers actually ditching the traditional reins of employment to become freelancers, where does that leave the humble home? And it's not just people choosing to become freelancers. Employers are, increasingly placing a preference on this style of engagement. Large, complex organizations are switching to flexible workforce solutions where they can flex their labor up and down or switch it on and off to cater for their different workflow needs. As a mortgage broker myself, I have a large proportion of people seeking finance that are self-employed contractors, and lenders are ever so slowly adapting their policies to cater for this increasing market. Now, if you are self-employed and finding it difficult to secure finance, get in touch with me through the Buyer's Guide, and I'll help troubleshoot the scenario with you. For myself, though, one of the most satisfying feelings in the world was to actually leave traditional employment. I had reached a point in my life where I had been living the same way for the past few years, working for someone else and really just living for the weekend. Only my weekends were slowly being filled with errands such as shopping for the rest of the week or cleaning the house or whatever else had been piled up on the to-do list throughout the week. And during that time, my partner and I, ever so slowly, started hatching a plan that would, really leave many questions unanswered. But, that was all part of the thrill. Anyway, we're quite the way down the track into this new direction. And personally, at this point in time, having to go back to work for the man terrifies me. Crappy cash flow through the business some months also terrifies me. But, not as much as having to pick up my ego and going to get a job. And look, if it ever happens that I happen to pick you up as your Uber, don't hold it against me. It's just been a slow month. Now, look, my situation is really no different to many others. I engage several contractors to help me with different tasks through the business, one of which, recently packed up his own life. He amassed enough freelance work to take himself and his partner on an extended holiday through Southeast Asia, taking their work with them online, and now each day they're, making it an adventure, something new, and, they don't have anything that is actually anchoring them down like a mortgage on their home. People crave this need for security, but actually miss the fact that comfort in life is right in front of them. There is virtually no limit to where life can take you. If you do have a home to live in, and, be prepared to throw the anchor out, because that's where you're going to be unless, of course, you rentvest and give yourself the flexibility to pursue what you'd actually love to do whilst growing, an asset base on the side that gives you that security that you also crave. You can have your cake and you can eat it too. People never seem to realize there is no right answers in life. We're brought up to live in this certain way: the career, the mortgage, the kids, and the two cars in the driveway. But the truth is, you only need to look over the fence to see that you're just living a carbon copy life. Most people would see it as throwing away the chance to having a successful life, but with the majority of people falling into or just accepting mediocrity, by doing what they're told, chances are taking life into your own hands will bring you far more success than living by tradition. Life by your own terms means more opportunities for work, investment, lifestyle, and overall quality of life. So maybe it's time to stop thinking about where you should be and start thinking about where you'd really want to be. Now, these are the facts. At the moment, in the United States, almost a third of the workforce is composed, I should say, of freelancers. And this figure is expected to grow to over 50% in the next 15 years alone, and it's likely to be repeated across the developed world. The evidence is all around us. Outsourcing, downsizing, relocating, and casualization are all the rage in the workplace. Rather than waiting for life to happen to you through no fault of your own, your employer deciding to retrench your position, or you taking on a casual job, for example, there's never been a better time to make a decision to use your skills for improving your own lifestyle. Now, a wise man once told me that sometimes the decisions that other people make on your behalf are actually the best for you. So if you ever find yourself being made redundant, it could actually turn out to be the best decision that someone else has made for you. Like everything, it's just how you view it. Some of us have already experienced this and are being offered, remote working agreements perhaps, or being offered more flexible workforce opportunities or engagement styles with the business. And, you can perform many of these duties in the home office or any location that you actually desire. Yet, many of us actually fail to take advantage of exactly what that means, the value that it actually holds. If you don't have an obligation to come into the office every Monday, why not reap the rewards and take your work to a place that you truly enjoy? Living where you truly want to be, whether it be a quiet country town or by the beach, or, like this contractor chap of mine who travels the world. So many of us are actually afraid of the possibility to lose what we have that we never really gain what we actually want. There is no honor in living the way that you were told you were supposed to. You're not going to be rewarded or congratulated for living an ordinary life. We live an average of 27,335 days. It's about time you make every single one of those count. As always, look, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please make it happen and send me an email at info@rentvesting.com.au. Don't be shy, say hello. I do reply to all my messages. And if I haven't taken, or I should say, if you haven't taken advantage of the free resources that are available on rentvesting.com.au, do so. There will be some new ones coming up there very soon. And in the meantime, happy working, happy investing, and see you on next week's show. Bye bye.